Hi, and welcome to Unlimited 3D. In this video, we'll cover the setting up of the default scene. On the dashboard, in the Scene menu, you'll find the Default Scene tab, where we can set up all options that define the default scene. This menu is all about defining the options that will be active on the start scene, during the initial load of your model. Here, we indicate which camera, camera control, renderer, and viewport we want to see when loading the model. In Default Scene, we can also define which parts of the model should be active and visible during the initial rendering. We can also indicate whether a part should have selectable capabilities or not. The next we can do here is setting up the lights, so if we don't need all the ones we created, we can turn off the light here, which then won't be active. Just to clarify, anything created and not set as active in the default scene can still be used later. For example, when we want to activate a part depending on the configuration we create, or for a smartphone display, we'll be able to use another camera not marked as active in the default scene, and so on. Another option that can be set up in the default scene is related to annotations. Here, we can select which annotation needs to be visible during the model's initial load. We can also choose whether the annotation will be clickable and if it'll be visible on the initial loading scene. In the lower right-hand corner, there is a Set Current Scene as Default button. It allows for any setup that is currently active in the editor to become the default scene setup. So, if you're already happy with your setup in the editor, you can set the default scene from there very quickly. On the preview screen, we can also check the options set on the default scene. As this is our last check before publishing, it can be really handy to see the list here. Once you're on preview, you still have the ability of adjusting your options when you change your mind about using another camera, renderer, and so on. If you decide to do so, go back to the default screen and make the changes there. Related to the default scene topic, and equally important for the initial look of the model, is the default material setup. This will be covered in a separate video. In short, it is important to be aware when creating a material for some part of the 3D model. Remember to set it to default if you want that material to load initially. Properly setting the default scene is important, especially in cases where the type of project for which we are preparing the 3D model requires a slightly more complicated setup. For example, a model that has multiple different cameras, different environments we can switch between, or multiple annotations that are not all visible at the same time. Thanks for watching. We're looking forward to having you as a part of our community.